Welcome to
Cigar
Public.
And welcome to Cigar Public.
This is Adam Gard with Dreamer Cigars. Welcome to Cigar Public.
Yeah, I'm joined here at the PCA show floor 2023. Adam from Dreamer Cigars. A lot of you will probably know this guy from his massive amounts of content that are readily available on multiple platforms. Welcome, sir. Thank you for dropping by.
No, absolutely. Appreciate, you guys being here. It's awesome that you guys got a hell of a setup here.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. It's been just an overwhelming in all the right ways sort of experience. I've had just an amazing amount of conversations with amazing groups of people, and just living this experience has been fantastic.
That's awesome.
It's an absolute perfect reminder of why I love this stuff so much. So let's talk a little bit about how you got started as a content creator for cigars and what drove you to do it in the first place.
Well, it's funny because it kind of started out of accident. Mm-hmm. So I was in real estate. I was flipping houses on a lake, and always was a big cigar guy. Loved cigars through college, everything, and I was trying to be the HGTV of Instagram and all this sort of shit. Didn't work. I had like 700 followers in 2 years. I was like, this is so terrible.
Right.
And my wife was like, why don't you try and review a cigar or something?
Sure.
You love those? I was like, nah, it's never going to work. She's like, maybe you can do it on TikTok. I was like, it's definitely not going to work on TikTok. Of course, wives are always right. I reviewed one cigar. The first post hit 10,000 views in 3 days.
Wow.
And I was like, all right.
What have I done?
I was like, I'm going to try and see what I can do. And it just kind of slowly built up from there. The whole kind of thing in the beginning was we were just answering comments, answering questions, and we realized that we had a very young audience that didn't know a lot about cigars.
Mm-hmm.
They were asking questions that to me I was like, yes, like they'd never seen a V cut before, or like no, you don't inhale a cigar, and like some very basic stuff. And then last year at this time, we came to PCA. We had built up about a year and a half, and we were doing a podcast and everything, and we were trying to find our niche exactly. And when I met all the different podcasters here and everything, I realized there was one gap, and it was the beginner.
Right.
Nobody was specifically targeting the beginner, the new guy that has been scared, intimidated, just doing everything wrong, and just so we really rebranded our entire company into a cigar education company. We did a Cigar 101 book with Rick Rodriguez. We've got that out and all that stuff. So now it's really everything we do is to try and help this wonderful industry, everybody here, reach the next generation of cigar smokers.
Excellent. And that's something I've always been impressed by, just the frequency of your content and the very informative nature of your content. It's very user-friendly. It's very approachable. Yeah. It's very unassuming. Yeah. And people, I think, can kind of overcome that initial intimidation factor of getting into this, because it's a great hobby, it's a great lifestyle, and the more people understand it, the more willing I think they'll be to give this a shot, because it's something that a lot of people who have yet to discover it would get a lot out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you're in, you realize all the people, no one's intimidating, everybody's amazing. The giant names in the industry, they're all just fantastic
and very willing to talk to
individuals. And just it's funny that it's intimidating from the outside, because once you're in, you're like,
why was I so scared? Like, these are normal people.
Yeah, they're normal. It's just everybody's having a good time. Why? It's like, what? But it is, and so that's what we're trying to break down, and that's why we've dabbled in high production content, and it's funny because it's always the content that I'm in my backyard or something, and I just grab my phone because I think of something, I'm smoking a cigar,
get this
and I'm
before
like,
I forget it.
Yeah, and I just film it right there, and then that one gets more views than the ones I spend all my time editing and stuff, and I'm like, because it's that approachable nature that you talked about that people like to see, and that's what we want people to know. Like, of course, it's fun to come to a convention, look nice, and be kind of that cigar style, but the other side is, most cigar smokers are just smoking in their pajamas on their back patio.
That's right.
That's the truth. We like to. This is just a facade.
Yeah, I mean, we like to polish ourselves up a little bit to give a best impression when doing something like this. But
absolutely.
You're absolutely right. The largest contingent, I think, of cigar smokers are the working class people who just want a moment to enjoy, reflect, meditate, that sort of thing, recalibrate before they move on in their lives. So let's talk a little bit about reviewing cigars and how you go about it and what you did that really helped you expand your palate to get the most out of cigar experiences?
So we reviewed cigars for a long time, and we've gone away from it a little bit now because one of my biggest struggles in the industry, especially with trying to represent the right way to beginners, is I have my palate and you have your palate.
Right.
And helping people understand, I may rate something a 96, and you could rate it a 0.
Right.
Like I always talk about food. I hate spicy food. I just do. It's my palate.
And there's millions of people who love it.
So if I was a food critic, I'd give all the spicy food a 1, and I would give the rest not.
Right.
And that's what I always say. So any new guys out there watching, yes, there is a home and a place for all the ratings, and I do believe that there's a good place for that. But you talk about expanding your palate, learning everything, and really developing what you enjoy. It's all about smoking different things, enjoying different things, and being able to try everything out there.
Right.
I always say, right now you have your favorite cigar.
Right.
But the next cigar you try could beat that.
Right.
And you never know.
And that's something that people in my own circles, friends and family, who aren't into cigars as much as I am, they might smoke one occasionally, but they're not really into it.
Yeah.
They'll ask me that question often. What's your favorite cigar? It's like, well,
it's so hard.
That changes
what time
every
of day
10
is
minutes.
it?
I mean, it's like there's no way to say what my favorite cigar is because the cigar that I'm smoking at that particular time, I pick for that specific time.
Exactly.
Because that was the appropriate time to have it.
Yeah.
And I smoke so many different cigars now. It's impossible to say this is my favorite.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It definitely is. And then the last thing I'll say on that end is what I've seen, and we're starting to do some blind comparison videos and stuff like that. Is try to do some blind tastings because you don't want to get too judged by the band and
or the brand or the history.
Yeah, all
like
of that. And give all the boutiques and all the new, the craft cigar movement that Pravada's created, all the different cigars that are out there, maybe smoke 2 at a time too and see, oh, okay, now I understand the difference.
Yes.
Like I can smoke this one and then I can smoke a different one next week, but I can't really compare the two.
Right.
Too
far removed from each other.
Right. It sounds crazy that, to a lot of newbies, they're like, you want me to smoke 2
at a time? That's crazy.
I can barely handle one. And I'm like, well, it is an investment, I understand, but it's if you want to take it to the next level, that's definitely the best way to start to dabble in that for sure.
Yeah. So looking at the cigar industry, the cigar culture as it exists right now, what's one thing don't have to limit it to one thing. What's something that you would like to see improved upon or changed that would make it more ideal in your mind?
Honestly, it's the change that I am seeing. So I'm happy about it. It's manufacturers and the big brands putting out educational content.
Yeah, and I think education is so key.
Yeah, that's how it's going to get out there. And I would say it's probably the one thing I'd like to see change. I don't know if it's there yet. A couple companies are embracing it. It's social media. I mean, it's how you're going to reach the next generation. That's where they are.
Social media has the potential to make much more real personal connections.
Yeah.
I know that the cliche is you're not having real connections on social media, but it's a hell of a lot better than what they're doing right now where they're not connecting at all.
Right, and trying to convince a 22-year-old to buy Cigar Aficionado and put an ad in there. It's just the best way and the cheapest way to reach the next generation. So I believe there's a lot of companies that are getting there, but I think it's those companies that embrace social media right now and go all in on it, they're going to be the ones in 50 years with the biggest booths. They're going to be with the biggest names out here.
Excellent. Adam, great stuff. Great
Absolutely.
to have you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much.